Hello and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today I think I'm going to attempt for you one of these storied puzzles in the history of sort of puzzles themselves. This puzzle is called Meidjuluk Fillomino Permaculture 10 by 10. It's by Agent, and I have lost count of the number of times that we have had this puzzle recommended to us. It is meant to be absolutely breathtakingly brilliant and also incredibly hard. It has 5 stars out of 5 for difficulty on Logic Masters. It has some of the comments are on say things like, you always know it's an agent puzzle when your expectations are shattered, and this just shattered my expectations in the best ways possible. So I've no doubt it's brilliant. I'm hoping I will be able to solve it. That would be something of a disaster if I can't. I'm predicting a long video confidently. And I will read you the rules to this one in a moment. Meidjuluk, by the way, I'll just guess this is a puzzle type invented by Glum Hippo, I think, Philip Bloomer. But whenever I see it, it makes me think of Ali G, because to me it looks like Meidjuluk, which is how Ali G always referred to his girlfriend. I mean, there's literally no quotes by Ali G I can actually now use, are there? Because they'd all be unacceptable. But I did used to find Ali G very funny. I'm a big fan of Sacha Baron Cohen. So Baron Cohen. So anyway, we'll get to Meidjuluk in a moment or two's time. I've got a couple of things I wanted to mention first. I'll start with a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Drew, from your older brother Cam. I understand the two of you both watch the channel, and I hope, Drew, that you have a brilliant birthday today with, of course, lots of cake. And the other thing to mention is that we've got a brand new sudoku hunt coming very soon for you. It's been created by the Skunk Works. There's a little teaser here. Trick or treat 6x6 Nexpeditions. So this is going to be very cool indeed. I did battle a couple of weeks ago with a Kurt Hugo Schneider 6x6 puzzle, and they can be extremely beautiful and very fun. So look forward to that. It's going to be something else coming on the 1st of October, of course. The other thing I wanted to mention, actually, I've got a confession to make. I am not recording this on Tuesday, which is when hopefully this video will go live. I'm recording it in advance, which is rare for me. I do always try and record on the day. It keeps, I think, the news current as much as anything else. But unfortunately, on Tuesday, I have to go to a funeral for Mike Howarth. And Mike is, well, he was one of the pillars of my life growing up, frankly. I led a somewhat peripatetic, or I had a somewhat peripatetic childhood. I moved around a lot until I got to the village of Lymm in Cheshire, where I became, well, my best friend in Lymm was Philip, and I would not be able to count the hours that we spent together, and I spent in his house with his father Mike, mother Jenny. And Mike was a big influence on me. He was a really clever guy, also very good at sport, and a real role model. And yeah, I was very saddened to learn that he'd passed a week or so ago. And I just yeah, so I'm going up on Tuesday for the funeral. I just want to pass on, obviously, my love and condolences, especially to Jenny, Phil, and Catherine. And yeah, Mike was 1 in a million, and he'll be very, very much missed. And with that, I will distract myself before I get emotional by taking a look at Meidjuluk Fillomino Permaculture 10 by 10 by Agent. 10 by 10 implying, I suppose, there has been a smaller version of this at some point. I do have an example that I clipped from Logic Masters. Here it is. So while we're reading the rules together, we can look at the example and see if we can understand what we have to do. So these are the rules of Agent's puzzle. We have to divide the grid into two areas of orthogonally connected cells. One of the areas is a Meidjuluk, brackets n equals 9. The other is a Fillomino. I think these things do get explained, so don't panic yet. In a Meidjuluk, we have to divide the Meidjuluk area into 9 regions, one of each size 1 to 9. A Meidjuluk region may not contain repeated numbers, and it may only contain factors of its size, e.g. a region of size 6 may contain any combination of 1, 2, 3 and 6, including none of them. Okay, there so far. I'm going to scroll down the rules. Let's carry on. Fillomino. In a Fillomino, hopefully if you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, you will be familiar with Fillomino rules. We have to divide the Fillomino area into orthogonally connected regions such that no two Fillomino regions of the same size share an edge, and enter a number into each cell equal to the size of its region. So let us try and understand how those rules work by reference to the example puzzle. So I haven't got a clue what's going on here. Right, let me go back to the start of the instructions. We've got divide the grid into two areas. Yes, okay. So that's why we've got two coloured areas. So we're going to have to split the puzzle into a bit of the puzzle that's going to be Meidjuluk and a bit of the puzzle that's going to be Fillomino. And those, yeah, you can see this. So there's a lump of green cells that look to me like they are Fillomino, and a lump of blue cells that look like they're Meidjuluk. Now in Meidjuluk, you can see if we count the sizes of these regions, there's a size 1 region, a size 2 region, a size 3, a size 4, a size 5 and a size 6 region. And if we look, for example, at the size 6 region, it contains a 2 and a 3, because 2 and 3 are factors of 6. No region contains a repeated digit in the Meidjuluk region. And all the cells in the Meidjuluk region are orthogonally connected, which I think was one of the... Well, that's to do with the region division, isn't it? What we're not going to be able to do is sort of, I don't know, have Meidjuluk here, have Fillomino here, and then have Meidjuluk again here, because there would be two Meidjuluk areas there, and we have to divide the grid into only two areas. One which is Meidjuluk and one which is Fillomino. So now let's go back to this example puzzle and look at the Fillomino region. So in the Fillomino, you can see that there are two regions of size 1, one region of size 2, one region of size 3, and one region of size 8. But the two regions that are the same size, which are the two 1 regions, are not orthogonally connected. Orthogonally means sharing an edge. Yeah, that's weird though. So look, these two 1s share an edge in the grid, but because they're in different, because they're not in the same type of puzzle, or because they're not both Fillomino, that's allowed. Right. Okay. Now, do have a go at this. Do allow yourselves some time. 5-star puzzles are normally fairly. They're not going to be a walk in the park. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, let me think about this. So, I think what we can do here is to make an observation. It says that the size of the Meidjuluk is n equals 9, which means that there is a 9 size region, an 8 size region, etc, etc. Now, we know the secret, don't we? If you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, you will know the secret. If you don't know it, then I am going to share it with you, because you deserve to hear it after listening to me prattle on for 10 minutes. And the secret is... Well, basically, the secret is relevant to Sudoku, but in this puzzle, it's relevant because it is the triangular number for 9. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9, which is going to be the overall size of the Meidjuluk region, which is divided into 9 regions, which have one of each size. And the secret is 45. That is the sum. That is the triangular number for 9. So how big is... Oh, it's 10 by 10. It says it in the title. So this puzzle is 100 cells big, of which 45 cells are going to be Meidjuluk, and 55 cells have to be Fillomino. Okay, there we go. There is a deduction. Let me look back at the instructions. Oh, the instructions are really short, actually, once you sort of... Oh, okay. So, what on earth are we meant to do? We've got 2 1s in the grid there. So, we worked out, didn't we? So these can't both be Fillomino. But that's bad. That's bad for us, because they could be 1 Fillomino and 1 Meidjuluk, which is what happened in the example, but they could be 2 Meidjuluk, couldn't they? I mean, if the 1 and the 8 join together, with a 4, say, 1, 4 and 8 are all factors of 8, and that 1 could just be a Meidjuluk 1. There's no 7s in the grid. There's 1 5, lots of 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, 1 5. I want to say 4 6s, but I might be missing one. No 7s, 2 8s, 4 9s, and that's it. Yeah, because it doesn't say, actually, there's another thought I've just had, is that the Fillomino, it's silent on the maximum size of a region in the Fillomino. So it wouldn't surprise me, knowing the way that these constructors like to sort of confound expectations, I suppose, and even shatter them, if there was sort of a 27 region in here somewhere. So some absurdly big region. Because Fillomino cells don't have to, we don't have to have a clued size for every region. Right, okay, but the Meidjuluk, right, I see what we could do here. The Meidjuluk regions, certainly the big Meidjuluk regions. Yeah, so I'm thinking about the 9s, and I'm wondering how many 9s. How many 9s in the puzzle are, well, a maximum of 1 9 can be in the Meidjuluk. Because imagine that was a Meidjuluk 9. We're going to have colours, aren't we? What were the colours in the example puzzle? So in the example puzzle, Fillomino was green. Right, so imagine that was a Meidjuluk 9. If that was a Meidjuluk 9, that region is of size 9. But it can't contain a second 9 because it says that a Meidjuluk region may not contain repeated numbers. And you can't put 9 into any other Meidjuluk region. You can't put 8 into any other Meidjuluk region apart from an 8. No, you can't put 6 into another Meidjuluk region apart from a 6. Or 5. So if that 5 was Meidjuluk, 4 you could. 4 is the first digit in Meidjuluk that you could lump in with into another Meidjuluk region. Everything else is too big. So 4 could go into an 8 clue. But it could only go into one 8 clue. Because there can only be one 8 clue in the Meidjuluk. 3 is a very flexible digit, actually. 3 could be in its own size region. It could go into a 6 region for the Meidjuluk, or it could go into a 9 region for the Meidjuluk. 2 can go into a 2 size region, a 4 size region, a 6 size region, and an 8 size region. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Actually, I'm just going to change my mind. I'm just going to think about 2s for a moment. and then I'll come back and think about 9s, because I'm just thinking about Fillomino in the context of these. This 2 pattern is a bit suspicious, isn't it? And I can see that you can't make those both Fillomino, because if these were both Fillomino, by the time this one grows to be of size 2, that way or that way, it will touch another 2 region. So at least one of these is Meidjuluk. Yeah, hang on. At least one of these is Meidjuluk. But if oh, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. Yeah, but hang on. There are 8 2s here. How many 2s are in the Meidjuluk? Well, it's no more. It can't be more than 4, because I can't put more than 4 2s in the Meidjuluk, because I can only go in the regions 2, 4, 6 and 8. So yeah, so I think what I'm concluding here, but I might be wrong about this, but what I think I'm concluding is that of these 8 2s, I want to say 4 of them have to be Meidjuluk, because if 4 of them weren't Meidjuluk, at least 5 of them would be Fillomino, and there is no way then that you couldn't have one of these sort of pairs of 2s on the side, both Fillomino, which we've said is impossible. So yes, so at least 4 of the 2s in the grid have to be Meidjuluk, because otherwise having 2 Fillominos on a corner would break. But no more than 4 can be, because there aren't more than 4 regions that can take a 2. Right, so exactly 4 of these 2s are Meidjuluk, and exactly 4 of them are Fillomino. And the 4 Fillomino have, because of the problem of having two Fillomino 2s in the same corner, the four Fillomino 2s are shared out. So each of these little diagonal domino things here has 1 Fillomino 2 in it. Ah, okay. And now I'm actually thinking about yin-yang, which is a completely bizarre thing to think about in Meidjuluk Fillomino permaculture. Because can't we apply the yin-yang perimeter trick to a puzzle that where you have to divide the grid into 2 regions? So I'm not going to major on the... In fact, is that the point? You can't have checkerboard in this puzzle. That must be true, mustn't it? So let me just think about that for a second. Let's just look at those squares and imagine they were divided like that. Is that possible? That's not possible. That's clearly not possible. Well, because we have the requirement we're going to split the grid into 2 regions only of orthogonally connected cells. So in joining these blues up, however big the region is, whatever it looks like, it will isolate a green that can't then connect to another green. So it would, if you had a checkerboard, you would have to divide the grid into at least 3 regions, which is not what we're required to do. Okay, and that gives me some confidence that the perimeter thing is going on here. So again, it's a yin-yang concept, but what we're not going to be able to do in this perimeter is to split it up into too many colours. Let's think about that. So if we did that, I think that's broken for exactly the same reason the checkerboard's broken. Because to connect this and this together, however I do it, this side of the grid and this side of the grid are going to be isolated. So we can have a maximum of 2 stretches of colour in the perimeter. So we could do something like this. That's fine. And we might be able to do, I'm wondering whether what I'm being led towards is this. Because if all of these 4 2s with either they're all Meidjuluk or they're all Fillomino. Oh, that's complicated. What's that meant to be telling me then? Well, actually, if that was true, this would tell us they have to be Fillomino, because you can't have 3 9s in the Meidjuluk, can you? There's a yeah, okay. There's a maximum of 1 9 in the Meidjuluk, so that means this is hot. This is very complicated, actually. Though I was thinking, can I get? Actually, hang on. If I can only put 1 9 maximum, but I don't know whether any of these 9s are Meidjuluk 9s. They could all just be Fillomino 9s. But then I was thinking, what about the 6s, for example? One of the 6s, yeah, one of the 6s could be Meidjuluk. And then the other 3 6s. The problem is the other 3 6s are... If you did that... Oh, hang on, I'm doing it the wrong colour. If that was Fillomino, if I join 2 6s together in the Fillomino, this is okay. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use the fact I can only have one number in, or one of certain big numbers in the Meidjuluk, to say, okay, how many different big regions can I have in the Fillomino? So, for example, if we look at the 9s here, I know one of those 9s can be Meidjuluk. Let's say it's that one. Then I've got 3 9s left that have to be in the Fillomino. But does that mean 27 cells of this puzzle have to be Fillomino? It doesn't, does it? Because those two could join up. So all we're actually saying there is that we're saying the 9s in the puzzle are responsible, I think, for at least 18 cells of Fillomino, and up to 36. Up to 36 cells of Fillomino, because there's no reason that these 9s have to be in the Meidjuluk. You know, if you had... I'm not going to be able to do this, but that's too many. Yeah. Why couldn't that be a Meidjuluk 9 region? It's got the right factors in it. It doesn't have to contain a given 9. So I think... Right, so let's keep track of this over here. So we're going to write 18, which means that the 9s in the puzzle have to provide at least that many Fillomino cells. Now we've got 2 8s, and again one of these could be Meidjuluk, but only one. So the other 8 must be Fillomino. So we've got an 8. We've got no 7s to work with, but 6s. One of these 6s could be Meidjuluk. So 3 of these 6s have to be Fillomino, but I don't think that means we can add 18 again, because these are all so close together. We could... Okay, here is a question. Is it possible to cover 3 of these 6s in the same single region? That doesn't look possible to me at first blush. I don't think I can do that. I can get close, but no, I can't. I don't think I can do it. So at least 2 of these 6s have to be in different regions. So that's going to be a count of 12 we can add to that. So now we're up to 38's worth of definite Fillomino, but that could be massively impacted if that 9 thing grows. 38, and we said there were 55 Fillomino cells altogether. Right, 5. 5 could be just hypothecated to the Meidjuluk, and then we don't know. 4. This isn't going to work, because 4, those could both be Meidjuluk. If one of them's the 8, one of them's in the 8 region. 3, we can hypothecate them to the 9. 2, we know that we do know we've got 4 2s in the Fillomino, so that's 8 more. That's another 8. And 1s. I know 1s are horrible. 1s are horrible because 1s can go in any Meidjuluk region, of which there are 9. Or they can go, well, they can go in the Fillomino, except that both of those couldn't go in the Fillomino. So, okay, so that's the minimum, which is not enough, is it? It's nowhere near enough. 46. 46. So, so if you, right, so if you could conclude, if I can conclude that there are 3, well, there are, no, hang on, there are, this is really complicated. There are at least 3 9s in this puzzle which are in the Fillomino. It's just that there might not be 3 different 9 regions. But if there were 3 different 9 regions, this would go up from 18 to 27. And this would be the total number. This would be the complete count. Just let me show you what I mean. If the 9s are 27, and you add these numbers to it, 28 and 27 is 55. That's right. So that would mean, let's just think about what that would mean. That would mean that, I'm not even sure I know what that would mean. That would mean we couldn't have any other Fillomino regions. Yeah, so that 5 then would have to be Meidjuluk, wouldn't it? Because what we'd be saying is that the Fillomino regions were made up of 3 regions of size 9, 1 region of size 8, 2 regions of size 6, and 4 regions of size 2. Yeah, so we couldn't have a 5 or a 3 region in there, or a 1 region. All of the 1s would all be Meidjuluk. I'm just going to look at this for a second. All of this, the 2 4s, how would they work in this paradigm? The 4s couldn't be separate Fillomino regions, so they would be Meidjuluk. They would have to go, one of the 4s would be in the 8 region, but it could be either 8 in the Meidjuluk look. The Meidjuluk look. I don't know. I'm not sure that even does anything, does it? What does it mean if all of these are Meidjuluk? I have to allocate the 1s to 5 different Meidjuluk regions, but one of those could be a size 1 region. And there's no need for me to put any other number in the Meidjuluk with the 1. So that doesn't feel like a big constraint. What about the 2s now in this world? So in the 2s world, we know 4 2s have to be Meidjuluk. But there's no 2 by 2 thing here, is there? There's no problem with having a 2 by 2 of the same colour. The 2s... hang on. The 2s have to be allocated. The 2s that are Meidjuluk have to be allocated to the regions of size 2, 4, 6 and 8. So the 2, so this, again, it's very easy to do that. I was wondering if there was a problem with attaching 2. No, there's no problem. There's no problem getting 2s to given digits here. 6 is harder but not difficult. We can do it easily. Yeah, although you do have to be a bit careful. Yeah, hang on, you do have to be a bit careful. This doesn't work. Good grief! Wow, this is annoying. This is going to break my idea and basically shatter it over my knee. Ah, Bobbin's face. So I'm not doing this puzzle correctly. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so it's been half an hour excursion into the world of madness, but this is wrong because I think it's wrong because I'm trying to work out how I can do the 6s and not make a checkerboard in the middle of the grid, and I don't think I can do it. But I might be wrong. So let me just run through that logic that I've just been thinking about. So what I'm saying is that four of the 2s in this puzzle we know are allocated to the Meidjuluk. We know that therefore they have to join up with regions of size 2, 4, 6 and 8. So one of these 2s, one of these 8 2s, joins up to a 6. But the problem here is it's got to join up to one of these 6s. Because if both of these 6s are Fillomino 6s, that's a checkerboard. We've said that doesn't work. So I have to so one of these 6s is the Meidjuluk 6 in this puzzle. And there is only one 6 in the Meidjuluk, because 6, you know, it hasn't got any bigger digits it can factor for. So one of these is blue. But the one that's blue has to attach to a 2. Ah, no, it doesn't work. You can't, I don't think you can attach. I thought maybe that was where that's 7 though. This one can definitely get there, in 5, but it can't get here. That one's simply too far away. Right, so this is what we should have appreciated way back. Oh, it's not easy to appreciate this though. This all falls from the fact that you can't. This all came out of the idea that the 1s became blue, which they didn't need to be at the start. Alright, so all we're really doing is we're learning about the puzzle. We've now learnt that there are several constraints all operating together. There is a requirement this is not a checkerboard. There is a requirement around the 2s. And there is now a known feature of the puzzle, which is that the 9s cannot contribute 27's worth of cells to the Fillomino, because if they do, You can't make this not a checkerboard, so that's out. So that means that the 9s are contributing 18. Well, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Because if the 9s are contributing 18 to the Fillomino, 18 cells to the Fillomino, how on earth do you do that? Because that seems to me to require these two to join up. Because how else can you do it? The only way you could do this with this disposition of 9s, I've got to somehow force 4 9s to only contribute 2 different regions to the Fillomino. And these 9s are too far apart. I can only join these two together, can't I? I haven't missed a trick there. They don't. That's enormous. Actually, it's not enormous, but it is still bigger than 9. That is 10. But for some reason, to me, that looked like far too far. Right. But so what I need to do is allocate 1 9 to the Meidjuluk, because even if I join these up, if all 4 9s are in the Fillomino, I'm going to get to a 27 count again. So one of these 9s, well, let's be more specific. One of these 9s is in the Meidjuluk, because these two can't be in the Meidjuluk. One of these two can't be, because the 3, let's say we try and put that one in the Meidjuluk, then these 3 can't connect, and they would be 27 again. Same is true if that's in the Meidjuluk. So one of these is in them. So these are 2 different colours, is what we've just learned, and they are on the perimeter. Yeah, this is massive. This is absolutely mad. This is ridiculously clever, Agent. Good grief. Right, because look at these squares. I know for certain they are Fillomino, because they have to be. And that's on the perimeter. No, hang on. Which way does it go round? That's the next question. Because one of these is green. And we know from our perimeter logic that we did about 20 minutes ago that I've got to put... So if that's green, that will be blue. Then these will connect. If that's green, this will be blue, and these will connect. And how far apart are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are 8 apart. Does that mean I have to take all of those squares, or is there some other route I can take which would allow me to connect the 9s in a more circuitous way? No. I mean, if I don't take all of those squares, how on earth do I connect these up? I can't, for example, miss that one out, because although I gain missing this one out, I have to put 3 in to replace it, and that's going to take me up to 10. So I do have to take all of these, and I have to take 1 more somewhere to make this 9 work. So these are all labelled 9 because it's a Fillomino. And so these are all Meidjuluk. This is it. The reason I'm saying these are all Meidjuluk is that we worked out before that one of the 2s in each corner is Meidjuluk, and I know that the Meidjuluk has to be connected in the grid to all the other Meidjuluk. So how does whichever one of these is Meidjuluk connect to its friends? It's all of those have to be blue. And now we do know the order of this, don't we? Because if that was green and that was blue, then in connecting this blue to this blue, I'm going to cut off this green from this green. This is sensational. So that square is now blue connecting round there. This square is now green connecting round here. Whoa! And suddenly we've actually started the puzzle, which feels like a massive breakthrough. Okay, so right, and we know that in each corner the twos are of different colour. So that one is Fillomino because that one is Meidjuluk. That one is Meidjuluk because the other one is Fillomino. One of these, we don't know which way round they go, although I will think about that in a minute. 8. So 8, right. Oh, we might have done this. This might now just collapse because now this is 8. And that's the only Meidjuluk 8 I'm allowed. So that one's a Fillomino 8. I shouldn't have said that, should I, about it collapsing? That's such utter nonsense. Now, what's that? What do we do next? That is a Fillomino 2. I don't know. I'm confused now. Right, let's have a look down here. So we have got a lot of paraphernalia. That 4, that can't be Fillomino. I mean, there's not enough space for it to be Fillomino. I can't put 4 4s connecting to this. So that's got to be blue. I don't think we know anything about what that looks like, do we? The 3. So if the 3 was Fillomino, it would take those cells, wouldn't it? But we know one of these 2s is blue, so that doesn't work, so it would be isolated. So that 3, oh, hang on, this might be wrong now, because that 3's got to be Meidjuluk, but that 3 can't go in the same region as the 4, because that would require a region of size 12 at least. Because we'd need a region that had 4 and 3 as a factor. This is getting very cluttered, actually. So this 4... that's in the Meidjuluk, so it's either part of a region of size 4 or it's part of a region of size 8. Okay, we know it's not part of a region of size 8 because the Meidjuluk 8 is too far away. So this is part of a region of size 4. And this, well, that could be part of a region of size 3, 6 or 9. And the 2 down here, well, the Meidjuluk 2 has to connect to either the 2 region, the 4 region, the 6 region, or the 8 region. Well, it can't connect to the 8 region, that's up there. It could connect to the 6 region and be in the 2. So we could put the 2 and the 3 in a 6 region together. I'm struggling to see how this works. Maybe there's a way we can tell which of these is Meidjuluk. If the corner is green, then this is green. Otherwise, we're going to have too many changes of colour in the perimeter. So if this is Fillomino, that's Meidjuluk. Now, what does that mean? This 4 region is horrible. I'm struggling to see how I do this. I can't trap the 4 in. So the 4... oh, I see. The 4 can take... ah, okay. So maybe that's how you do it. You take a little L tetromino for the 4 and the 2. They would be in a 4 region, and now the 3 can escape. Okay, maybe that works. Let's just try it the other way around. So if that's the Meidjuluk, then that's Meidjuluk as well. We know that. That's got to be green now. We don't know about this one, I don't think. But that 4, okay, that 4, that does it right. This breaks. This breaks. Aha! Because this 4 is part of a region of size 4, which means it now has to take this square. And then this 3 region, well, yeah, let's do this slowly because it is actually, it's still quite complicated. So the 4 region would have to go there, at least, and possibly higher, depending on whether this square is in the 4 or not. The 3 region has to be in a region of at least size 3. Now, there is not room for the 3 region to be in a 6 region anymore down here. There's not 6 spaces of blue. So it would have to be in a region of 3, and it would have to be those cells. And the 2 could just fit there, except that this 2 now can't have 2 cells. So it only just fails, but it does fail. So that means, let's uncolour all of this, because which way round was it? This one is not green. So this one is green. This one is blue. That one is green by perimeter logic. And we did work out there was a way of doing this. We know that that's blue, don't we? We do know that. And we know that this is blue, so we do know that. And then the question is so my only other thought is there another way of getting this all resolved? So we found one way, which was that this 4 takes those squares, which would also force this 2 to take that square. So if the 4 does come here, don't we get the same problem again? Let's just think about that. So if we do that, now the 3 can't bump into the 4. Yeah, there's not 6 cells down here. There's nowhere near enough cells. So that simply is impossible. This 4 has to not take this square. So we need to delineate this somehow. This 4 can do this, which means it's got to be bigger. It's got to grow here. He can't bump into the 3 because that would need a 12 region. So it does bump into the 2, which means it needs to be a size 4 region. It's just forced. It's got to be that. There we go. That was a bit more straightforward than I thought, actually. Now this region, which has a 3 in it, is either a 3, 6 or a 9 region. But it's not the 9 region, because the 9 region's there in the Meidjuluk. So it's a 3 or a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, but it's not a 6. Oh, this is so gorgeous. Right. This is a size 3. And it's not the 6 for a beautiful reason, which is not that it doesn't fit in, but it's that the 6 region we'd create in the Meidjuluk doesn't have a 2 in it. And it must have a given 2 in it, because we've got too many given 2s for a given 2 not to be in the region. And that means that this is a size 3 region, which means we know exactly what its shape is. And we know that that is definitely a 2 in the Fillomino. What colour did the example do the boundaries in? It did them in green, so we're even colour coordinated with the example. Now I'm going to ask what size is that region? That region, it could be a 1. It can't be a 2, because it then can't have a given 2 in it. So it's not a 2, it's not a 3. We've had the Meidjuluk 3, we've had the Meidjuluk 4. Meidjuluk 5, I thought that was the Meidjuluk 5. Is that the Meidjuluk 5? Do we know? I don't know if we know. How much latitude have we got at the moment? We've got 26. 46, 9 of latitude. Oh, right, okay. So that's bad. So that doesn't have to be the Meidjuluk 5. Because it could be a Fillomino 5. Because we've got 9 degrees of freedom effectively by not having all our 9s separated. Alright, so that could be 5 maybe. Can it be 6 again? Well, if it's 6, doesn't it have to pick up the 2? The answer to that is yes, I think. Maybe that's a better way to think about this, actually, is to think about how we're going to allocate the 2s, because I have got 3 blue 2s now, and I know one of these is a blue 2. And these have to join up. One of them has to join up with the 8. So literally with this square. So it's that one. But then the 9. Hang on. This 9 is a blue 9. So that's part of its region. Because the blue 9 can't bump into a blue 2, or it will need a size 18 region. And it can't bump into the 6. Yes, that's blue. And that square is part of this region. I don't know if this one is or this one, but that one's definitely, that is in the 9 region. So now, yeah, so now the 2, one of these 2s, well, either of these 2s can't connect to the 8. Because to do so, that would imply there's a region of size 8 that you can draw in somehow that can enclose a region of size 9 that we haven't even drawn in yet. I mean, the region of size 9, even if we make it as small as we can, which would be something like, it's just not going to work, that. And then we join the 2, and I mean, forget about the 6, that's already a problem, but you can't join that 2 to that 8 around a 9 that's got to occupy this space. So the 2 that's in one of those 2 squares that is in the Meidjuluk is not, well, it's not a 4 and it's not an 8, so it's a 2, it's going to be a 6, isn't it? It's going to be a 6. So it's a 2 or a 6. But that 8 can't join to that 2, so that, right, this is big. So that 2 joins to that 8, and that means that can't be a 6. Because it can't. Because if that was a 6, if we made this a 6 region in the Meidjuluk, we know it's got to join up with that 2, because it must have a 2 in it, a given 2. And then that 2 can't be used for that 8, and that 8 can't get a 2. So this is not a 6, so it's 1 or 5. Now, can it be 7? No. No, it can't. For a different reason again. It can't be 7 here, because there aren't 7 cells that have realistic factors. 7's prime, so it can't bump into any number apart from 1 in the Meidjuluk. So it can't bump into the 3. 8 here is impossible. We've already had the 8 Meidjuluk. 9 we've already had. So this square is 1 or 5. Now, if we can rule out 5, 5 is only possible like that. The 2's going to the 8, isn't it? Or maybe the way you do it actually is the other way round. If you make that a 1, i.e. a region of size 1, by the way. If you make that a 1, because we know this is a region, this is either a region of size 1 or it's a region of size 5, this cell here. If you make this a region of size 1, what's this cell in then? Do I have to do this exercise again? And this one can't be, this one now can't be in a region of size 1. It can't be in a region of size 2 because it can't join to a given 2. It can't be 3, it can't be 4. There's not enough room for it to be 5. 6 doesn't work because it can't get a 2 from over here. 7 is impossible, 8 is impossible, 9 is impossible. Right, okay. So I don't think this can be a region of size 1, which means it is a region of size 5. But it's a Meidjuluk 5, so it must occupy these cells like that, I think, which means that square turns blue. There's no other digit in there. This, we know this is somehow connecting to the 8. Does it have to take the whole board? You know, do we have to include all of the cells along the boundary, or is it possible that something... could you yeah, you could do that. Oh, that's annoying. So if this was a one size Meidjuluk region, then the 8 doesn't have to take that square. Right, sorry, that was a bad thought. It's strange, but it doesn't seem to work. That 2's got to grow. Oh, actually that's interesting, because this also has to connect with the rest of the world, doesn't it? Huge breakthrough. That 5 now can't be Meidjuluk, because we've had the 5 Meidjuluk size. So that, and obviously it can't be in a region of size 10 or higher. That won't work. So that is Fillomino. It's a Fillomino 5 region, which means I can add that to my panoply of digits over here now. So now, where are we up to? Were we on 46, or have I misremembered that? I think we were on 46, so now we're on 51. So we've got 4 more cells to deal with, which could be if that 4 is in the Fillomino. This 5 has got to grow. Well, yeah, that's a good question. Hang on, we can do some shading here. Where's that 5 getting 5 Fillomino cells? It could get that one, but it's got to get some of these. It's got to get all of those. Definitely, they're all now forced to be Fillomino 5, which has to be separated from the 9. Separated from all of these digits as well, but we don't know whether these are in the Fillomino or in the Meidjuluk. Right. The other thing I'm just thinking about is I've got to make sure I can connect this 2 to the rest of the Fillomino. But what do we say about 6s? I've got right, I can't now separate the 6s into too many disparate Fillomino regions, because I'm up to a count of 51. So if these 6s are split into 3 different Fillomino regions, that breaks the bank. I've only catered for 2 in my recipe here. So, right, so now we know how does this work? We've got at least, I've got 4 6s in the grid. I can hypothecate one of them to the Meidjuluk, so 3 6s are left, but they can't now be in 3 different regions. So 2 of the 6s at least have to join together. But that actually is not, that's even possible there, isn't it? I mean, it looks like those 2 want to join together. Oh, hang on. I was forgetting a point there that's relevant. Oh my goodness, right, hang on. I've got to, whichever 6 Ah, for goodness sake, man. Right, these two, for a totally different reason, are Fillomino. They're Fillomino. Because if one of these was the Meidjuluk 6, you'd have to connect it to a given 2 in the grid. You can't do it. That's too many cells. There's no 2 anywhere near this one. These two have to be Fillomino. They have to, because it's not to do with the allocation. It's to do with the need to deal with the 2s correctly. So these are both Fillomino, which means that's Fillomino 6, because that 6 has got to get out. Now, does that mean? Well, yeah, no, I can just run that logic again. How could this possibly be a Meidjuluk 6? Let's just make it blue and think about this, because we've said that the 2s, the 8 2s in the grid, 4 of them have to be allocated to the Meidjuluk, which means that they are in the region size 2, 4, 6 and 8. And we've just said if we make this blue, it is the 6th region in the Meidjuluk, so it needs a 2 in it, and it can't possibly get one. It can't possibly get one now that 2's been hypothecated to the 8. So that is also green. Right, so this is making more sense now, isn't it? But oh, hang on, and I've still got a problem with this checkerboarding. So those 1s there, at least one of those 1s is green, which is Fillomino. Otherwise you've got a checkerboard. So I can add a 1 up here as well, because that's not catered for in my recipe. So now I'm up to 52. So I've got 52's worth. So that 4 now is not allowed to be a Fillomino region of size 4. I'd have 56 Fillomino cells. That's got to be a blue cell. And that's got to join to the 8 somehow. Because we know that we've had the 4 size region. So the only way to hide a 4 in the Meidjuluk is in the 8 region. So hang on. So what have we got now? So if those are all... Well, now we can't do the loop thing, because that won't take the 4 into account, which means I think we have to go directly. So all those 6 are in the 8. That's in the 8, so that's in the 8, and that's the 8 done. So the 8 looks like that, I believe. That 3... What does that mean? So the 3 can't be in a region of size 3. So if that 3 is blue, what's that 3 in? It's not a size, it's got to be in a 6 or a 9. It can't be in either. There's no 6s or 9s near it. So that is Fillomino, which means I get a 3 over here in my recipe as well. And I think that might take me to 55. Yeah, it does, because those 3 add up to 9, and that's the difference that we had once we reduced the 18 from 27, which is what we had here. So this is it. We have completed our recipe. We now understand exactly how that's got to be a 3 as a result of that logic. We know exactly the composition of the Fillomino. It's only 1 1. It was only one of these I catered for. I could have had 2 Fillomino 1s, but I only catered for 1 in my recipe, and now the 3s have become Fillomino. I've got no room for more than 1 1. So right, so these are all now they're Meidjuluks. Right. One of these. These are 1 of each. This 6 is nowhere near picking up. 1, 2, 3. If it picks up that square, that's 4. So it must take that square. That's 5. This 9 region has to be much bigger. So there's some, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It must take that square, definitely, and this square. Because even if it takes all of the slack in that size of the region, it always ends up getting to here. And that is putting more pressure on my 6, so that becomes a 6. Let's do some outlining so that we can see what's going on. That's delineated. We've got a load of regions here that are not finished. Look, we've got the 5 could grow here. Hang on, what does that mean? Do we know what that is? No, or do we? If that was oh no, hang on, I think I'm going mad now. If that was Fillomino, no, then it would be 3, that's fine. I think the thing I'm thinking about in my mind is, can it be a Fillomino 1? I think the answer to that is no, because I'd have too many Fillomino squares once I make one of these a Fillomino 1. This is so complicated. I mean, this is the sort of thing where you just think, you know, you might in the end solve it, but it's like, how do you set it? How do you even have the idea that this is settable? Oh, what's my phone? Oh, that's fine. That's just one of those notifications that comes up. Now, what on earth does this mean? 1, 2, 3. Oh, so yeah, the 9's got to grow as well, doesn't it? So the 9 could go in here. That would force the 6 here, force the 3 here. No, it wouldn't force the 5. We don't know how the 5 is moving. I have no clue what to do now. Sorry about this. Let me just... I almost feel like I need to take an audit again of everything I've learned and try and make my brain understand it. I've still got to deal with... I want this to be a blue 6. That feels like a correct deduction, doesn't it? Because then I can join it to a 2 in the corner. Although probably I couldn't join it to that one, because that would isolate a green 2. So it'd probably be these 2. And then that would be green, and that would force the perimeter a bit more. But why is that? Why is that a blue 6? Does it have to be a blue 6? We know if it's not a blue 6, I only catered for 12 in my recipe of 6s. So if it is a green 6, it has to join to that one. But it can do that. Oh no, not like that. Actually, maybe that's the point. It can't do that, because is it going to block this in too much? Oh no, that's annoying. This 9 could take a 1, and that would give it access to more cells than I'd thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it's got flexibility. Bobbin's face, how annoying. Right, let's... Oh no, I was about to draw that line, and that's total I can't do that. I don't know whether this one... Or do I? If I know... Yeah, no, hang on. Even if it's Meidjuluk, it can't overlap with a Fillomino 6. A Fillomino 6 is only allowed to go with other 6s, so that is legitimate. Oh, I'm struggling here. What about the 1s? Can we allocate the 1s to regions? Because there are some regions. Actually, that is not the world's most stupid thought. Because hang on. Yes, right. I've got 3 blue 1s here, and I've got to decide what Meidjuluk what Meidjuluk. I've got to decide what Meidjuluk is going to pair those up with. From a region perspective, what size of regions do these ones join to? Now, they could join to a region of size 1. That's possible. But they can't join to a region of size 2, because we know that the region of size 2 needs an actual 2 in it. And none of these can get to a given 2. And it's not 3, and it's not 4, and it's not 5, and it's not 8, and it's... Oh, well, actually, I was about to say it's not 9, but maybe it could be 9. Right, so this is 1, although it's not actually 9, for a different reason. If I do try and join one of these to the given 9, one of these ones at the bottom, like that, this 6 can't be big enough. It's impossible. So the 9 is off limits to these ones, which I think means that these have to be part of the regions that are of size 1, 6 and 7 only. So one of these is a size 1 region. And one of these is a size 6 region. And that's bad. What does that mean? Hang on, one of these is a size 6 region. That's got to have a 2 in it. Oh, now I'm getting very confused. It can't have that one in, but it has to have a 2 in it. Is that right? One of these is a size 6 region. The size 6 region needs to have a given 2 in it. It could be that one. It can't be those. So it must be that one. So one of these joins to that one, but it doesn't join to that one. So that is a Fillomino 6 now. And if it's a Fillomino 6, it's got to pair up with this, or our recipe is broken. So that's got to be a 6, that's got to be a 6. And then we've got some... Well, if that's 6 now, there's not enough room for the 9. This is unbelievable. That's got to be the 6, and then the only way of closing it is like that. So that is a Fillomino 6 region. Now, is this forced now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, oh, hang on. Now I'm confusing myself about the ones here. One of these ones is Meidjuluk. And it's not the 1, 6, 7 Meidjuluk, because they're down here. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is 9. One of these has to connect to the 9 Meidjuluk, which is that one. Which is so it has to be this one. Both of those have to be blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know how we dispose of these. Well, we know that to avoid checkerboard is now green, and that finishes it. So at least that's straightforward. The first straightforward thing we've done in a while. Now what do we do? It looks to me like there's some channel of blueliness that's going to have to come up here. Because I'm just thinking about that 9. That's a Fillomino 9. So that's going to have to take quite some considerable cells, isn't it? I mean, it could take this cell. But it has to, however it goes thereafter, it has to leave a passageway for this blue to connect up to the rest of the blue in the grid. Which means... if this 9, say, got to here, there's no passageway. So the 9 has to stay on this wall. I mean, literally, maybe that... But it can't bump into a 2. I think this is a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... If it didn't take those exact cells, those absolutely exact cells, how would you get the blue out? No, you can. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. You could take that one as well. It's really difficult though, and certainly maybe that's a crucial cell. Let's imagine that cell was blue for a moment, then try and make the 9 work, because then we're having to bump over here, and that's not going to work. So that cell is definitely that's part of the 9, and therefore this has to get out. But do we know? We know that's part of the 6, but we don't know which of these is the 6. And one of these is a 7, and one of these is a 1. And we know that they must escape through this little valve here. And several of these, so all of those are 9s. I'm not sure about this one. I think there's sort of some flex. Well, in fact, the blue must continue. That's cool, because the blue continues to here. We know one of these is blue, one of these is green. So that becomes green, which must extend up the perimeter. So we've got 7 cells of 9 done. Oh, now this is getting very tricky. So that 2, what is that part of? That is a region of size 2 in the Meidjuluk, because the 6 is down here, the 8 is here, and the 4 is here. Where does this 8 go now? Oh, I haven't even thought about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got to go there. That's for sure. I think it's got to come down here a bit. Let's do some delineation. It's got to go further actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at the very least is where it has to go. Now that has penned in my 9, which wasn't the right size. That's got to be 9 now, which is going to finish that off. The 5 now needs to grow. Ah! The 5 is growing, and that's cutting off my 8. Ah! If this breaks, I'm going to be so upset. Hang on, what's going on now? So we've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's got to be 8, 6. Well, this is we've only got one Meidjuluk region, so that's got to be an extension. I don't know if it's part of that region or not, but the Meidjuluk has to go there. 6, so that's 8. Don't know about that square, I don't think. Do we know about anything else up here? That 6 isn't finished, so that's going to do things, because that 6 finishing is going to take one of the 9 Meidjuluk cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those two both have to be blue, and they are part of the Meidjuluk 9. So that's big, because now that's got to go there to be part of a Fillomino 2. And now my 9 region here has only got 7 in it, so that's got to take those squares now. Isn't this this is just unbelievably clever. It's unbelievably clever. Now this has to get out, so that's blue. This is that's a Fillomino, so that's got to grow. That must be an it must be an 8, because there's nothing else, nowhere else the 8 can get its last digit from. So now this is blue to connect the Meidjuluk. I'm sure I know what that... Oh, the 3 has to grow. That hasn't grown to be large enough. We know this is Meidjuluk, don't we? Because I think my recipe is completed for by me having one region in the Fillominos, so that's blue, but we haven't finished the puzzle, because we have to somehow allocate this all out uniquely, which is what I think is going to concern me now. So the 2 Well, okay, the 2 is part of a 6 region, and it doesn't join that, I can see, because if it takes those 5 squares, it'll have to have a repeated 1 in it. So this is either the 1 region or the 7. Well, it's not. That's not the 7 region, because it was going to bump into a 1 in acquiring its size. So that is a 1 Meidjuluk region. Yes, okay. And now, if the 2 takes this 1, by the time it reaches a count of 6, it's going to block this one in. And that's meant to be a 7 if that's a 6. So this is the 7, this is the 6, and there's a region here that we've got to draw, which must extend up. Now this is the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's so beautiful because it just works. That's it. And we leave behind a 2. So if we've done this right, we've got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8 and a 9 in the Meidjuluk. Is everything connected? We've drawn a tree in the diagram. It's got a sort of green or a hand, sort of Carrie-esque, coming up from the grave at the end of the puzzle with the grey stone here. I don't know what we've done, but we have got an orthogonally connected Meidjuluk. We have got an orthogonally connected green and Fillomino, and that is how to solve Adrian's puzzle. That's brutal. Absolutely brutal and brilliant. Mind-bending. Absolutely mind-bending. But I did enjoy it. Yeah, thank you very much for staying with me if you're watching this still. I really appreciate that. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.